Monumental news on this Friday afternoon. Western United have reportedly been stripped of their A-League's license. This is incredible stuff. We're going to dive into this article from Vince Rigari, which is coming out this Friday afternoon, August 8th. The article reads here that Western United is on the brink of folding after the A-League club was stripped of his license to compete in Australia's professional men's and women's competitions. As we know, there's been a lot of drama going on behind the scenes at Western United, reports coming out of, players and staff being paid late. As Vince Rigari explains here in the article, there was even a FIFA ban due to a dispute with former star Alexander Prijovic, blocking them from registering new players. Apparently just in the Australia Cup the other day, that's why they weren't able to field the likes of Ben Garuccio and Jane Kaczarski, because they weren't able to be registered for that game. But as the article says here, the first instance board met on Thursday night and determined that Western United FC has failed to meet the criteria required to be granted an A-League license, a spokesperson for Football Australia said. As such, Western United's license has been withdrawn effective immediately. As this news has been developing this afternoon, there's been quotes coming out, this one coming from John Aloisi, who says, "Not sure what I can say at this moment, but I'm devastated for everyone involved at the club." And further down in Vince Rigari's article, it says here that in a statement, the club has said it was bitterly disappointed by the decision and will lodge an appeal with faith of a positive outcome as the sale of the club and injection of capital from KAM Melbourne continues to progress. And we've been hearing about the story for a little while now. Western United hoping to get these new owners across the line. It seemingly hasn't quite happened yet, and it's pushed Football Australia to this decision. So Western United reportedly set to lodge an appeal, but this is really concerning news, worrying news for the A-League Men's champions from a few years ago. Their women's team made the grand final in their first ever season. This is a team who have been very competitive across the A-League Men's and women's competition in recent seasons. They've had big plans of building a stadium in the west of Melbourne. They've obviously got that training ground there, and they played all of last season out of that ground, getting a few thousand fans there. They still hadn't had the full stadium built, and I think we're all hoping that we were going to see that in the coming years. Look, it's concerning. Obviously, I feel for Western United fans, and this is a tough time for them, but it's concerning just for the health of the league. If we want football in this country to grow, if we want the A-Leagues to grow and develop, we need teams surviving and flourishing, not just, surviving, trying to get by, but actually flourishing, not having clubs disappear like we saw previously. You might remember the two Queensland teams, Gold Coast United, North Queensland Fury. They were only in the competition for a few years before they were removed. It's just crazy to think that this is set to happen again. I think we've become accustomed to it at this point. There's always so much noise around A-League clubs off the field and concerns about will they exist going forward. I remember this time last year, there was concerns about Newcastle Jets and their ownership, and here it's finally tipped over the edge here for Western United, which is really tragic for them. We'll see what happens in regards to the appeal. Hopefully there is a positive outcome for Western United. It's going to be really heartbreaking, not just for the club, but for all of Australian football, for all of the A-League, if they aren't indeed part of the A-Leagues for the upcoming season. It's just crazy timing as well. We're only a couple months out from the A-League, the draw. I think we're all expecting that to come out in the coming weeks as well. But this has sort of thrown everything up into the air now. I wonder how the APL as well are going to handle this situation. What's the league going to look like for the upcoming campaign? The men's competition would revert back to 12 teams, the women's competition to 11 teams. And as well for the players and staff there at Western United. Western United have some top players in their squad and have been producing some fantastic young talent as well. The likes of Dylan Leonard, Reece Bozanowski coming through at Western United. All these players potentially going to be looking for a new club going forward. So this is one of the most remarkable things that has happened in recent history in Australian football, in A-League's history as well. Really feel for Western United fans. We're all a bit shocked with this news. We just have to wait and see what's going to happen. For the A-Leagues, man, this is a huge piece of news and just a devastating day. So what do you guys make of this news? Western United stripped of their A-League's license. Join the discussion in the comments section. This is a huge story breaking today. And make sure to stay subscribed here to Always Watch Football. We'll keep you guys up to date in regards to what happens with Western United in the coming weeks. Thanks guys for tuning in. Hit the like button on the way out. My name's Lockie, and I'll see you in the next one.